everyone? Matt, ESC United, it's your favorite Eurovision channel, and welcome to another episode of Mattitude, the Eurovision live stream. How is everyone? I'm so glad to be back. I wasn't technically really gone, but it has been a crazy time, I think, for all of us. So it's just wonderful to really get back into the thing that we all love the most, or at least we love very much. I don't know the most, but you get my point. So I'm here to talk about today solo about the Eurovision Song Contest and the news that has happened, and then we're gonna have a dialogue and answer your questions and all of that stuff. So make sure to always subscribe to the channel, because in order to actually get notified when the video is out, you need to know, so subscribing helps. I hope you're all doing well through these crazy times that we're all going through. I'm hanging in there. As you can see, I've been wearing a hat because my hair is super long. I'm going to get a haircut probably tonight at home, so because I can't go anywhere. So that's why I'm wearing this hat. Usually not my preferred thing to do. But anyway, that's just how it goes. Quick hello to some of you in the chat already. I see Lyndon ESC is right there. Terry O'Neill, sup, you fools, right back at you. And Lily Loves is there as well. And I am so glad that everyone is here. We have so much to talk about. And now that we're finally kind of kicking things into gear here as far as the Eurovision 21 season is concerned, we're going to do this a whole lot more frequent, but more on that to come. So we got to talk about all the stuff that's happening, and we're getting tired, I know, talking about it, but let's go for the news through the week, and then talk about what's on the horizon, etc. And yes, we all know that the big elephant in the room right now is, you all know it, you call it COVID-19, right? We're all tired of hearing it, but it's so important because there is so much that will affect the 2021 contest. We don't know how it's going to look like and where we're going to go. As we approaching, we're getting maybe a better idea, but right now it is all still kind of up in the air. But I will not go all the way back to how things happened and what happened. I think you're pretty aware of that. But I will bring up this one slide real quick to remind everyone that the EBU and the Dutch broadcaster are preparing for 4 scenarios. And as planned, just like we know Eurovision 2019 and prior, then the basically 1.5 meter, which is like the social distancing one, where you still have a show, you still have all the participants there, a social distance audience and press center, and limited events in Rotterdam. Then the travel restrictive one, where you may or may not be able, or I should say the broadcasters can either broadcast from home, or they can actually come to Rotterdam. And then the lockdown, where no one can travel actually to the contest. It'll still take place, but I will talk about that in a second as well. Those are currently what we're looking at right now. So the EBU has a similar approach, I guess, to anything as I do. Like, you prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? Because that's all you can do at this point. And so in order to ensure that Eurovision will happen, and that is the most important thing. So whatever happens, Eurovision will happen. And so the EBU has asked all 41 broadcasters, because 41 countries are taking part in the 2021 year. It's so difficult for me to say 2021. I don't know what it is. That they record a taped version of the Eurovision performance and send them in before the actual rehearsal start in May, early mid-May. That is something they have to do. Regardless of whether or not this will happen, just as a precaution. It's a preventative measure just to make sure that it's put in place should Europe and the Netherlands be on a lockdown before the contest, or maybe end up in another emergency lockdown, which we have seen quite a bit. So they want to have that cushion there. So that is really good, because there will quarantine and travel restriction that affect all of us. And if anything, this makes it clear that the EBU has committed to producing the show in 2021. So whatever happens, we will have a show. Of course, we prefer the best case scenario, which is number A. I'm hoping A or B will be the reality. There are some regulations that they have put in place for that. And in order to ensure fairness and equity, each broadcaster will need to follow numerous production guidelines prohibiting augmented reality, audiences, overlays, confetti, drones, water, or green screens. So that basically saying because the more financially secure broadcasters can do like all the crazy stuff while Little San Marino can only stay on a rickety stage. So they want to have fairness for everyone, I guess. So, and that makes sense. I embrace it because that was my biggest concern about having a remote show. Now, during the recording, a representative from the host broadcaster, the ESC executive supervisor, and an independent voter observer will be in attendance by Zoom, basically, to observe, offer assistance, and ensure the integrity of the contest. And while it may seem odd right now, this is exactly basically what we're doing with Junior Eurovision this year as well. So it just really guarantees that all countries get the opportunity to shine at the contest and not one gets like extra treatment just because they have more money. And this is really cool. Um, so this is what they're going to do now. When you see them recording, don't freak out, because that doesn't necessarily mean that we are actually going to have a lockdown in case you see them recording. It's just really just a preventative measure just to be sure that things will go as planned. I see ESC Veggie saying, I think we get scenario B. Right now, it is very difficult to say. My gut feeling says I agree with you, and here's why. And I'm sure most of you are very smart cookies and you pay attention to what's going on in the world. But here, at least in the US, we have a couple of pharmaceutical companies who actually have a vaccine now that is not between 90 and 95% effective, and they already submitted an emergency approval authorization process that they're hoping that by late December, the most vulnerable people will get the vaccine, and then over the coming months, that more and more people will have it. So we're still 5 months or so, 6 months, almost 6 months, not quite, yeah, away from the contest. So that gives potentially a lot of people the opportunity to get tested, assuming everything goes to plan. There are so many ifs and buts and roadblocks. I get that, but I'm just talking best case scenario or even just realistic scenario. We could end up, having the vaccines maybe in time. But not everyone wants a vaccine, and how do you prove it if you got one or not? So there are still so many things that we need to, worry about. I get that. But for now, this is where we're at. And the good thing is they are preparing, and I am super excited that things are happening. Let's see what else. Adrian Fung is saying it is also a measure if contestants arrived in the Netherlands and tested positive during their time there. That is the problem as well, as you said, but that goes back to the whole, the vaccination. I think this is really, really, really important and could be a lifesaver, deal breaker, whatever you want to do. But I think with vaccinations, I could see like if they are available at that point more broadly, that they can say everyone that's going has to show us that they were vaccinated or something to that effect. I would be all in favor of that. What do you think? So that is basically where we're at right now when it comes to that. And more to come. The next few months will be very informative and interesting. But we'll hold on and for hope and excitement, because I am naturally more on the optimistic side. I'm mostly a realist, but just a tad optimism. And here I feel optimistic. I feel good. I feel hopeful. And I guess after all this negativity, that is probably a good thing. And I know there are a bunch of questions that are being asked in the chat right now that are not necessarily related, which is fine, but I will have a Q&A session afterwards. So I'll make sure to hold those, and I will answer everything that is appropriate. So another thing that's also in regards to the whole COVID thing, what is going to happen with the live audience? What is the update there? We don't know yet what scenario A to D is going to happen, but there have been Some interesting information: the Dutch broadcaster NOS has reported that the State Secretary for Economic Affairs and Climate has given the green light for like a large scale events to happen in regions of the country at risk level 1, right? So you can have large scale events. Now, the problem is that the vast majority of regions are currently at risk level 3 and 4. So that means this will not take place in large cities as Rotterdam. So this doesn't necessarily help us. However, there is speculation, nothing set in stone, that the trial events could lead the Dutch government to greenlight a live Eurovision audience should trials prove successful. Now, this effort is headed by the Dutch company Field Lab Events and has been named the Back to Life Project. Now, they intend to host a pop concert and dance events with over 1,300 people to test safety regulations that could map the other live events in future, such as sports, theaters, and of course, concerts. Now, of course, patience, patience, and that's what we all hear all these months. You gotta wait, you gotta be patient. Only time will tell if this project will be successful. But the presence of a live audience will also rely on an effective vaccine, as I mentioned. So they're all just having some hopes there. I'm not trying to be too optimistic, but I gotta at least share that with you. Barawi actually makes a point here. I think the EBU should contact with the vaccine company to bring vaccines to vaccinate. There are a lot of word vaccines in that statement. Vaccinate the contestants that no one will be in danger of getting the virus. Keep in mind, Barawi, the acts are only such a small number of people. We're talking about what, like 50 people, right? But we're talking about the delegations, the press, the fans. So it needs to be widely available. It's not just the contestants. So if you have some kind of setup where they vaccinate people, I'm not sure, I have to look it up, how quickly this goes into effect, the vaccination. Is like an immediate vaccination, or it takes a week for it to kick in, that kind of stuff. I don't even know that. So it also comes down to the availability of vaccines at that point. I'm hopeful because it's a few months out that it'll be a lot more broadly available, but it's not just the artists, it's obviously everyone else involved as well. And Nicholas is saying, how will the show work in the case of scenario D? Just to go back to that real quick, not to spend too much time on it, but Lockdown D explains here that the show will be in Ahoy, but keep in mind when it says the show, it'll basically just probably the hosts doing their thing because all participants would be at home from their local broadcaster studios performing, and kind of like what they're doing in Junior right now, no audience and hardly any events at Eurovision. So that is most likely how it would look like. That is like the worst case scenario, and hopefully that won't be the case. Personally, I don't think that's going to be the case, but as pointed out, the EBU needs to be prepared. It makes just perfect sense. So yeah, we'll see. And questions, by the way, if they're related, at ESC United, make sure that you post it so I can see them, because otherwise I just think it's general chat and then I don't see it. Jellyship, I probably butchered that name because it's Dutch, said, I am from the Netherlands and I think it will be plan A or B. Probably the situation will be much better in May. We will get 3 million vaccines in January. See, that is great. Now keep in mind, that is great, but even if the Dutch get all the vaccines, there are still people traveling from all over the world, and myself from the US, and we're not doing that great, but of course we'll have all vaccinations as well here and all of that stuff. So I am more with you. I think plan B seems to be more likely, but I'm not trying to get too excited and then get punched in the face. Oh, I'm breaking my table here. So, and Lyndon says it takes several weeks for an effect, 2 shots. That I forgot about the 2-shot thing, because yeah, you have to get 1 shot, which I think then brings up your resistance by a little bit, and then 2 weeks later you have to get another shot. That is right, I forgot about that. There's just too much going on in this world. So this is the stuff I wanted to bring you as far as the COVID situation is concerned and what Eurovision will look like. I know it is so frustrating for me and everyone else, because usually at this point in time, I would be able to book my flight, my room, and I can't. Because I don't know, will I be able to go? Right now, as you all know, the US is banned to travel to Europe and vice versa. So hopefully that'll all come down in the near future. So but I just cannot, in good faith, put down a lot of money and then because Rotterdam is expensive, and then just hope for the best. I need to have at least a little bit more certainty so that I can actually go over there. So that is where we're at, and hopefully we'll have an answer. I'm so over it, but health comes first. We all know that. Anyway, let's focus on the stuff that is not just Eurovision COVID related and hosting, but just see what updates we have with all the rest. And as you know, we had 41 participants in 2020 when the contest was canceled, and all 41 acts, not acts, forgive me, countries will return to next year's contest. So the same number, the same countries, no change, which is pretty awesome. And about 20 of them so far have chosen their previous year's representatives. Well, so half of them said, okay, we'll send our last year's act that was supposed to represent our country in 2020 to the 21 contest. Half of them have either not made up their mind or said that's not going to happen, or the artist said, I'm not interested anymore. So we have a few updates on that, and let me bring up something here real quick. So let's go. There are a few updates just over the last week and days, actually, as far as like some of the countries that have not announced their acts. Starting with Germany, my country of origin. Ben Dolik, who had his violent thing, people going crazy over the song, very popular in 2020, is not going to return to the contest next year. He indicated, or at least it's being implied, that his path right now musically is going a different route. So he will not be on the stage next year, unfortunately. That means a whole new team will be in charge of it, probably new writers. Another singer, up and coming maybe, will be able to show their skills out there. So that is at least something, but Ben fans, sorry about that. He will not return next year. But at least it was also to his own, like it was not just him being kicked out, which is always kind of sucky. Also, let's get a quick update on Russia. Little big favorites last year as well. They actually show interest. They would like to return to or like take part in 21, but they're not being given a direct ticket to the show. They did submit or will submit at least songs for consideration, and the broadcaster, if they're okay with it, will give them the green light, but it comes down to whether or not they feel the songs are good enough or appropriate or whatever you want to call it. So there is still a chance that Little Big may end up at next year's contest, but it is not a guarantee. The act would like to go, but the broadcaster, we will see. Okay, who else do we have? Oh, yes, I'm sure those who have paid attention with Belgium, this has been a big old mess. Hooverphonic has, already announced that they would return to represent Belgium in 2021. But over the last week, there have been some changes as lead singer Luca was kicked out of the band unexpectedly to be replaced by Geike. And Geike is the original singer of Hooverphonic. The band has been around for a long time, since the 90s. And she was the singer up until 2008, I think. And then they had different singers, and the current one, or the most recent one, Luca, I think she's been with Hooverphonic for 3 years. And they had a Zoom call where she got fired, and she came as a surprise. She was not happy about that. And she will be replaced by Geike. And so even though Hooverphonic will be there, it will be a slightly different lineup, most likely with the original singer returning to the mix. And who else? Oh yes, Axel from Finland. He won the national final, and I will not pronounce that name because UMK, the whole thing. But he will not submit a song, or has not submitted a song for next year's, therefore is not going to take part. So we will not see him on stage in Rotterdam. There's always a chance that he will return in the future. He said he has not completely closed the door to Eurovision just right now. He's not going to do it. So Finland will also pick another act for sure. He will not be in the national final. And another one I'm really sad about is Damir Ketso from Croatia. He also said that he felt he didn't have the right song that he could submit to Dora, the Croatian national final. He will not return in 21 either. Maybe in the future, who knows? I think he's a wonderful, talented singer, and I liked his song very much, so I'm very bummed out about these news. But Damir Ketso will also not return next year, meaning another act will be on stage. So those are the information we have so far on the most recent changes. Now keep in mind, these are just the most recent updates. As pointed out, there have been a lot of other acts who have said that they will not return. France comes to mind, Tom Leib, Denmark, the duo, the singer from Portugal, and several others said we will not return, Cyprus, da da da. So these are just in addition to those who have already announced that they would, not come back. There's still possibilities that some of the acts from last year will return, maybe, although I cannot think who else. Maybe Ireland, but who else could potentially get a surprise ticket here? Yeah, I think everyone else is out by now, right? So about half of the acts will return. This is where we're at right now. I said it before, I felt as all acts should have been given a direct ticket just due to the unique circumstances, but unfortunately, that is not what happened. Let's see some questions about that. Tasha Lulu said, Hooverphonic have got to be, in my opinion, one of the most problematic acts of recent times. It was horrible how they got rid of Luca. Tasha, I agree with you. I'm not trying to be too judgy as far as because I will have to, assuming I will be at Eurovision, I have to still kind of look him in the eyes. But I have had a kind of sour taste with the way things been handled over the last few months, the way that kind of dissed Eurovision, the negative comments, and some are saying they were taken out of context, but then, even then, they kind of doubled down. Then the whole Love Shine a Light thing, they refused to sing in it and got all upset that people were like annoyed by it. And then this whole situation, I just don't like the way it's being communicated. And I think Alex Callier is, I think, the main spokesperson of the band. I think there is like a detachment of a lack of empathy sometimes, the way, maybe it's just his personality, but it rubs me sometimes the wrong way. The way he talks about it. Let me see if the statement, I can find it. But the way he talked about Luca's departure, or unexpected departure. Let me see here. She's young, she's talented, she got character. If she does it right, and we will certainly help her with that, she can go far. But don't remember, she has gained so much stage experience for 3 years. It seems a little bit condescending there. And yes, of course, she was disappointed, but at the same time, she understood. So maybe it's not that bad of a statement. But yeah, the way that it was delivered was just doesn't sit right. Right? It doesn't sit right. I get that can't meet in person because COVID, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It just doesn't feel good. Especially they already recorded an LP, so that is not going to be released either. That really sucks. I mean, that sucks, man. I don't even know, how I would feel about it, but hey. This is basically what the status is with the current updates on the acts. Another thing real quick about how are the semifinals going to be allocated. As you know, there's usually a draw. What country in the semi performs in the first or second half of each semi. And we've done that earlier this year for the 2020 contest, which was canceled. And the broadcaster in the EBU made the decision to cancel the allocation draw this time around. And they will just use this 2020's allocation. So we will have the same setup as 2020. So let me bring up the list real quick here. The first one is your semifinal 1. Semifinal 1, as you can see, this is how the setup will be. The countries on the left will be in the first half, I guess, of the semifinal, and the ones on the right will be in the second half of the first semifinal. So this is not the actual running order. This is just the way the allocation happened. And with North Macedonia, Belarus, Lithuania, Sweden, Slovenia, Australia, Ireland, and Russia performing first, and then Norway, Cyprus, Croatia, Azerbaijan, Malta, Israel, Ukraine, Romania, and Belgium in second half in the first semi. And then in the second semi here, you have that set up. Austria, Moldova, Poland, San Marino, Serbia, Iceland, Czech Republic, Greece, and Estonia in the first half. And then Denmark, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Finland, Armenia, Latvia, Georgia, Portugal, and Albania, second half. Now, that is probably not a bad decision because, why go for that again? I don't necessarily think that it was a terrible idea. That also means that the Dutch act, Django McCroy, who was directly qualified since they're the host nation, will also keep his slot in the finals. I think it was number 23. He will perform in the 23rd slot, which he previously drew. So that will stay in place as well. So now we don't know if there's going to be a bloodbath semi, but just looking at the countries, I think Green Oscar makes a very good point, saying even without the song semi-final one is the bloodbath semi, only usually considered because we have a lot of the hard hitter countries in there: Sweden, Australia, Russia, Norway, Azerbaijan, Ukraine. So this is a very competitive semi, just based on prior records and friendly votes. Let's be honest here. But anything's possible. We saw Azerbaijan not qualify. Russia hasn't qualified before. So, same for Sweden, although it's been a long, long time. Albano said 2021 could be a season with a low number of national public selections. To date, there are only 12 confirmed, which includes the song selection for Israel. Your opinion about that? And that kind of goes into, it's a very good point I actually meant to bring up earlier, and then I got sidetracked. But yes, so since half of the countries, at least, about half of the countries will pick the previous artist, a lot of them will just have an internal selection. Now, some of them will have like a small national final where the singer will perform like a few songs and the viewers and potentially juries can pick from it, but there will be a whole lot less craziness when it comes to the national final season, most likely. So that is unfortunate, and people, you can make the case saying that maybe that will also hurt the song quality, because if a lot of songs will be just chosen internally and the public doesn't have a say, like the act was chosen, oftentimes the act is chosen with a good song. Now we just have an act chosen without necessarily a good song. So that could open a can of worms that just because, let's say Jan Tears, very popular song, Switzerland, lots of people love that song. What if his second song is just because he had a great song now, that his next song will be just not even half as good? But that is the risk you're going to run into this. But at the same time, I think it's a fair risk only because of these unique circumstances, and the singer should just not be penalized for a pandemic that he had no control over, in my view. Jokasi said you should make an ESC United hat. Right now, you're just promoting Adidas. Yes, I am. I should get that. It's on my list. Thanks for the reminder. So anyway, just to wrap that portion up, that is what we're expecting here. The actual running order will not happen until way later. The songs all will be chosen by early mid-May, March. And by then they'll start putting a running order together, and then usually like a month later we'll have it. So we may not have the official running order until like April. So stay tuned for that. Sometimes they're quicker, sometimes it takes them longer. So, And Lily Loves, just to wrap that up, a perfect response. It's hard to capture magic in a bottle twice. It's tricky with these artists returning. That's exactly what it is. Recreating the magic is very, very difficult. But maybe it is possible. But even if they cannot recreate the magic, I still stand by what I'm saying. They still get their shot, just because it just would be unfair if they didn't. But that is just my opinion. Anyway, what else do we have? Oh yes, so let's talk about the good news here. There's some stuff that has happened. First of all, we have some songs for the 2021 season. Now, that doesn't mean they will be the ones going to Eurovision, but like the national season kicks off, some songs being released for our consideration. And the first one that comes to mind is Bulgaria. Victoria, she was, representing Bulgaria last year, or it's still technically this year, but in Eurovision terms, we're in the past, 2020 with Tears Getting Sober. and she's returning this year as well. And the team is currently trying to determine what song um, should go to Eurovision. Now, as you can see, with Victoria, she released a song yesterday, Ugly Cry, for us to listen to and share our thoughts. Is the potential 2021 entry. Now, I did a reaction video as well. I think it was uploaded this morning. So check it out if you want to see my opinion. So I'm going to wait 2 seconds if you want to mute this portion so don't get spoil it. 1, 2. Okay, so in my opinion, it's still the same. I actually think it's a really good song. I think this is a chart-friendly song. It's a kind of song that you want to see an artist release after Eurovision, that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's a good song for... It's not a competitive song, if that makes sense. Certain songs are more better standalone than in like a competitive setup like Eurovision. And that is my biggest concern with the song. Even though I think it's a really good song, I think it would struggle to really get people to call in for it because it's pleasant, it's nice, it fits right in, and it's just a solid song. But it doesn't have the tears getting sober magic. It's not as grand. It doesn't have the twist. It doesn't have the surprises. It doesn't have the moments to really stand out. So I'd want to be very clear. I think it's a great song. I actually really like it. I just don't think it's right for Eurovision. That's my opinion. I don't know what everybody else thinks because I just did that, record that last night, went to bed, and now it's only 10:30 here in California. So I don't know what anybody else is thinking. So I am just throwing it out there. This is how I feel. But I love Ugly Cry. I think I like the message behind the song. The video is great. It works well with Victoria's voice. It's a perfect for her style. So I'm a fan. But if the team is listening, this is just my personal opinion. If you send it, I wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't be sad. So that's at least my opinion. There's also now finally Albania, the Festivali Kenges, which is the national final in Albania. Keep in mind, I'm also using that lightly because that festival has existed before they started taking part in Eurovision. So it's kind of like their own thing, standalone thing as well. But that one, the broadcaster released the 26 songs that are in the running. So you make sure to go to their YouTube channel and check them out, listen to them. I did the same. I spent all day yesterday recording the Bulgarian reaction video and listening to all 26 songs. Now, I will not tell you my thoughts yet because I got to start editing the videos and I will put them out. And will share my favorites with you. Keep in mind, there are 26 songs, so I will not put out one video. It's just too long. So I will break them in a little mini series, like 5 or 6 songs per video, and I randomly chose them, and I listened to them and shared my thoughts and my rankings. I will not tell you if I liked it or didn't like it. You have to wait and see. But those videos, I hope I can get work on the one today, so I have it out tomorrow, the first one. So stay tuned. I'll work as fast as I can. The editing part is always my least favorite. I'm telling you right now. It always is so much work, and I'm not particularly good at it. But hey, it got to get done. So yeah, so that will happen as well. Jellyship is saying, totally agree about Ugly Cry. I was thinking the same about it. It's a great song, but maybe not competitive enough for ESC. See, just listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. I usually don't, but this time I guess I am. So, ESC Sam says, I love Ugly Cry so much, but I don't see it get that good at Eurovision, a qualifier, but not a winner. I'm excited to hear the rest of the songs. ESC Sam, I think we're on the same page here. I think, and I kind of like what the team Bulgaria is doing here, is they put forward songs and say, hey, what do you think? And we're all giving our thoughts, and like, okay, they'll take that into consideration. And I'm sure they have some other aces in their pocket, and they're going to put those out and see the next song. If we all like, oh my God, that is the winner, then they'll choose that one. And they keep going and going until, they run out of songs. And then they pick the one that they feel best about. So, we'll see. We'll see. But that is definitely good. Jakasi saying, I hope FIK, Festivali Kenges, will happen outside. Hopefully it won't be too cold. I mean, they could at least heaters out there, but what if it rains? That is my biggest concern, unless they have something, to cover, but then it kind of kills. I don't know. I would be more worried about weather conditions, if it rains or snows or anything of that sort. So I don't necessarily know the weather conditions that kind of year in Albania, but knowing where they are geographically, I don't think it's very sunny at that point in time. Um, so yeah, this is basically what we have as far as new music is concerned. I think that is exciting to me. I get really finally into the spirit of Eurovision, and the last few months for all of us, wherever you live right now, have been very difficult for obvious reasons. The COVID thing alone is tough, but the fact that Eurovision was canceled, there is this huge gap, and I saw a huge drop off in people even caring about this year's contest because once you kind of lose that track, a lot of casual viewers who like sometimes follow with the stuff kind of lost interest. So I hope we'll be able to get it really, really going. I'm so desperate uh, to go to Rotterdam. I'd be so upset if I couldn't. Um, I will hope for the best, hope for the best, and hope for the best. Um, Another quick update. I mean, it's not really an update. This is me just chatting along. Those Some of you may be interested, some of them you may not. But the Junior Eurovision Song Contest will be in 8 days on Sunday, November 29th, which is weird because that's my birthday. That's the first time since I watched it that it fell on my birthday. So I'm like, great. But it's fine because it's in basically early for me. So I just have to get up super early, I guess, or to bed really late and do the junior thing. And hey, then I still have the whole day to get drunk. I don't drink. So, but I can't even go to a nice restaurant because, everything is outside. Although I live in Southern California, like LA, and the weather is actually not bad here. So I could technically eat outside, but I don't want to do that. Any kind of exposure. So I'm probably going to go to a nice restaurant, pick up the food, and go home. So that's what we're going to do here, my family probably, because I only have like 4 people that I interact with right now in my bubble. So, but yeah. So anyway, I started just making it all about myself. The point is, Junior Eurovision is next Sunday, and I am excited. I've never been like crazy into Junior Eurovision, but this is the third year I'm watching it, and I'm enjoying it for what it is. 12 songs are only taking part this year because we had 19 last year, but so many countries withdrew due to the whole COVID thing. No one's traveling to Poland. Everyone is doing a remote performance, kind of like what I talked about earlier. So there will be all just recorded versions, and most of them have been submitted anyway. So it will be a little different. You can still vote and all of that stuff. I will do a live stream afterwards. So make sure to check that out as well. And I put up all my reaction videos for Junior as well. And was it yesterday or the day before? I posted my personal top 10 video. I'll talk about some of my favorites in 2 seconds. If you don't want to have it spoiled, stop now. I'll give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay. Okay, so I will tell you about my personal favorites I wanted from here as well. First of all, Eurytowley, thank you so much for being here. Will these happen weekly now, Matt? The live streams, the plan is yes, now that I have a little bit more time and the COVID thing is kind of getting a little better. I appreciate that. Eurytowley, thank you for joining us. And I will do them as much as possible. I will also have other folks on with me here. This was almost like a last minute thing because I don't want to get too much into my personal life because, this is not about me. But I have people in my life that are very, very, they have conditions that makes me prone to getting really sick from COVID. So I have to be very careful. And I am just focusing on helping them right now a lot. That takes priority, my loved ones. So I had very little time to do Eurovision right now, and I feel bad about it. But you have to prioritize. But now that things are getting better, I have more time as well. I had a person that was very, very sick, and for 2 or 3 months, I was the caretaker. And longer than that, actually, 3 or 4 months. So I was balancing my personal life with Eurovision, and I knew that this was not a priority. My loved ones were a priority. So this is why you haven't seen me as much. I'm just being very honest right now. I'm trying to not make it about me, but transparency also helps. So that is what happened. But my point is, yes, I will be back a whole lot more. So, but back to Junior Eurovision. So those who've seen it, I liked a good amount of songs. I would say the top 7 in my list are all songs that I would be okay with seeing them win, which is more than half technically. It's a good year, I thought. There were good songs in it. And songs that I like. Belarus is good, even though it's only my 7th place in my ranking. People were weirded out by it. I think it's a really good song. It's just, I like the other songs probably better. Spain is in there. Poland is in there. People were shocked that I was the only person probably in the whole wild internet to actually have Russia really high up. I love Russia this year. It is, yes, so a lot of people find it too Disney, but I'm like, it is so sweet and I just love it. I really, really, really like that song. Um, so Russia is really high up with me. My top 3 are the Netherlands. Oh, so cute, so joyful, so much fun. And I love Kazakhstan. It really, really touches my heart. And then France. Once again, I love France. Why is France so good at junior and struggles at the adult version? It just blows my mind. But I love these songs and they're so cute, and so I want them. So Netherlands, Kazakhstan, or France, I'm probably rooting for the most. But the other ones I just mentioned are really good as well. So yeah. By the way, thank you, Lily Loves. You understand, my dad passed away 3 weeks ago. Oh no. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I lost both of my parents early on as well. Like I was 8 or 9 when my mom died. My dad passed like 10 years ago. So it sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. Man. Man. But I'm glad to see that someone also likes I Love Russia too. It's in my top 5. Mine too. It's my 4th favorite. Now keep in mind, live performance may change it, but I just really like it. So yeah, that is where I'm at with Junior. Make sure that you'll be back next week. We're going to focus a little bit more on Junior next week. And then after that, it'll be all just the adult version contest thing. So, yeah. I'm really excited that we're going to have at least Junior. There could have all been a chance that they would cancel that as well. Thankfully, that did not happen. What else do we have on the list? Oh, the last thing. Eurovision Again is tonight. In case you know what it is, every month now. It used to be every week, but now every month until the end of the year, they're putting forward a older version of the contest online. It's going to be like live, meaning not really, but we all watch it live together and talk about it. You get to vote again for your favorites, and that is fun. And we'll find out shortly what year they're going to show us. If you want to be there, I'll be on Twitter tweeting about it. Matt ESC United, you can see it there. I know not everyone is on Twitter, but if you are, join in. Michelle. So that is what I'm going to do after this live stream. So I just wanted to give you the heads up on that. And as you can see, it was a pretty busy week in the Eurovision world. So I am excited. Now that things are finally getting better here in my personal life and the Eurovision life, I need to be really into this. I'm so excited. So I want to thank everyone. I'm going to stay on here for a few more minutes for all of your support. And I want to also thank everyone who became a member on our channel. You can become a YouTube member here if you click membership, and a small donations to our channel helps us keep going with the channel and keep it, up to date, because it is a part-time job basically, and it's all based on donations. So I appreciate anyone who becomes a member. If not, that's fine as well. I'm just glad you're here, but I just want to thank those people, and those who want to join, feel free to do so. And Eurotauli, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy to support the channel. Matt, sorry, I must know your opinion of Lithuania 2002. Happy you. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. My faves of GSE 2020 are Serbia, Ukraine, and Malta. Okay, 2 questions there. So, Lithuania, happy you, right? That was the song. I actually remember this was the first year I moved to the US in 2001, July 2001. 2002 was the first year I watched actually on a laptop. It was like the second year that they actually broadcasted live on the internet, and I was so thrilled because I was in America and I couldn't watch it on TV. And I listened to all the clips, of course, and I actually kind of liked Happy. It was very pleasant on the studio version. I remember that it was kind of joyful, cute, and I was still very young then. and now I'm really old. But the live performance was just not good, so it so totally lost me there. So I gotta say. And you said your favorites are Serbia, Ukraine, and Malta. Of course, you're Italy. You're in. I What I love about you is your taste in music is so um, different, and I mean it in a good way. When you show me your favorites, I'm like, wow, I never thought of that. Sometimes I forgot about those songs. I cannot agree with Serbia, and I mean Serbia is probably at the bottom of my list. Ukraine is actually a grower. I put like it's okay. Malta is actually really good, and I can totally see why you like it. And that is also another one that I probably would have ranked higher now, but I did record the video like days ago, so it's definitely a grower. So I hear what you are saying. So any question that you have, any questions that is related to Eurovision or whatever you want to ask, at ESC United in the chat, and I will answer it. It's going to do a few minutes of that and see what's out there. The first question is, after the way this year has been by Tasha Lulu, I'm looking forward to 21, but also JESC, I need properly get back into the spirit of it. Isn't that a thing? Isn't it a weird thing, Tasha? We watch it, we get excited about it, and when you don't get any Eurovision, it's kind of like it sucks energy out of you. I'm like, you feel like, ugh, it's like a withdrawal sometimes, and you kind of like, I need more of that. This has been a very tough year for so many reasons, right? Yes, COVID, everyone did the right thing by canceling it, but it certainly didn't help with the situation. And so I hear you. I desperately am in need of that. Marcus Schneider is saying, what is your most favorite German entry of all time? You cannot ask me that question. Germany, I love the good old days of Germany. They started out really well, like in the early 70s up until like the mid 90s. There are so many songs that I just love. There's a lot of newer songs as well, but I find there's so many classics that I just love. I loved Joy Fleming in 1975. Ein Lied kann eine Brücke sein. I love that song. Of course, I love the German winner, Ein bisschen Frieden. Oh, those are really high up there, I would say. Gosh, there's so many other ones that I can even think of right now. I liked Wind for Olive 1985, but that is because my dad listened to that song. My family listened to that song up and down, so it just got stuck with me. So it has a special place in my heart. So, Mickey Stam is asking, do you think Poland can win a third time? Yes, absolutely. I think they can win. People are saying that they have an unfair advantage in the televote. I don't know how accurate that is or inaccurate, so I cannot really comment on that. But the song has a good amount of jury appeal, in my view, and can. I'm not quite as sure how well it will do in the televote, just based on its own merit. Not because it's not a good song, but it's certainly not quite as modern as some of the other songs that Poland put forward. But I think it can win. Absolutely. Absolutely. That goes to Lyndon ESC's question. Why are drones forbidden? Apart from that, ORF doesn't need any drones. They have this enormous camera crane. I know drones was a really funny thing for me as well, but maybe they just covered their butts just in case someone is going to be like, weird camera angles. Because what the drones do, I think it's not about the effects, but it's like a really cool camera angles and stuff. So I think they want to prevent that from happening. I don't know, because they just want to, again, San Marino, Lithuania, a lot of the poor broadcasters, Albania, they don't have those budgets. So they don't want to give, the rich countries an unfair advantage. So yeah. Let's see some other questions. Duantas. Which do you prefer? Un, deux, trois, or toi, la musique et moi? Un, deux, trois, I know, was France in 1976, which I think is so adorable. I don't remember the other one right now. You need to give me the year for some reason, because the title itself just doesn't ring a bell right now, so forgive me about that. I'm good with years and all that stuff, but I don't remember the title right now. Let's see some other questions here. Taylor Fischler is saying, do you think Eben Elena Israel, Eden, so type of Elena Israel will have the chance to turn the party on again? I think so. And can only go by prior track record. I love the Israeli national final, the 4 songs that she presented, 3 of them were amazing. And if they have a similar writing team, I think nothing can go wrong. I'm strangely confident about Israel putting forward a good song just based on that. So not worried about it too much. I think she's in good hands. In very good hands. Um, Marcus Schneider again. In my opinion, the German entry of 2018, You Let Me Walk Alone, is the best entry, a German entry of the last decade. Yes, it's a battle for me between that one and Satellite. I'll also have a special spot in Satellite for me. It's just so quirky. I love it. But those are the 2 strongest entries by far. There's a reason why these 2 songs did the best. You Will Let Me Walk Alone was so touching. So touching. So I'm a big fan of that one as well. But Germany is like so weird when it comes to Eurovision. It's like either, you know what I mean? It's just, it's hard for them to really figure out a consistent approach with a contest. So maybe they're on the right track. I don't know. But we shall see. I hope Eden will sing in some interesting languages again. That was so cool. I love languages at Eurovision. As much as I am against having a language rule at Eurovision, I'm a big proponent of it. So the more languages, the better. That is my approach. Jellyship, what do you think about Johnny Blue 1981? I mean, how can you not like it? I know a lot of people, the younger folks who may not know all of the Eurovision classics may kind of like, what are you talking about? But I think Johnny Blue is a classic. I didn't like it initially when I growing up because it was a song in Germany. I was like, this song is stupid. But then reminding myself I was stupid when I was young. So no, it's a good song. Germany of the early 80s was just amazing. Sorry. We should have won more than once. My opinion. That is just my opinion. But yeah. So these are the things that I have to give you right now. And I wanted to give you a few minutes. We're almost at an hour, which is perfect. That's exactly where I wanted to be. I will be once again at online on Twitter in an hour or so. I think that's when it starts. Eurovision Again. We'll find out in just less than an hour what year it's going to be. It's a lot of fun. And it's fun to review the old years and get an appreciation for the classics, I guess. I don't know what year they're going to pick, but it'll be fun. I missed last month one, unfortunately, because, you know, family stuff, family stuff. Peter M. is asking the question. I'm going to wrap this up in 2 minutes. Do you have everything planned for Rotterdam 2021 yet? No, Peter, it's the exact opposite. I have nothing planned for 21 because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Can I travel? Can I not travel? I want to book a place. I want to buy a plane ticket, but I can't because I don't know. Can I travel from the US to Rotterdam? It's too many questions. I cannot put all that money out there and then lose it because a lot of places don't allow a refund unless you pay a lot of money up front. And who has that kind of money? So I definitely not have anything planned yet. I'm mentally preparing. Like, if it happens, I know exactly what to do. Like, I'm all situated. I'm very organized. So I know exactly what day I'm flying in, what day I have to be there, and all of that stuff. I looked up public transportation, on bikes, whatever it takes. So I'm ready. I just haven't booked anything yet. David is saying, looking forward to hearing the 2021 Iceland song. Oh, yes. Dari. I never know how to pronounce his name. Internal selection. I'm really excited about that one as well. Again, we talked about it earlier. It's very difficult to recreate the magic just by forcing it. So you never know. With the Act had a fantastic song in 2020. Are they going to be able to repeat that this year? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's going to be good because I loved Iceland song last year. Oh gosh, it was ridiculous how much I loved it. So I heard my cat was in the background. Yes, this is my is a bed. So one's sleeping there right now. The other one just went for the food. So they're always just chilling with me here. I love my cats. So anyway, this is the live stream for today. I want to thank you, everyone. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will be most definitely back next week. It's our Thanksgiving week here in America, so I'm going to be off for a few days. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I hope to see you there, and I will be answering more questions with the next live streams. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all going to have a good evening, have fun with the show, and I will talk to you all later, and have a good day, and goodbye.